Hey everyone, I'm Kristen McGlory, and this week's Genius recipe is sticky, spicy, sweet Korean fried chicken, but make it crispy chickpeas, or anything you want. This recipe comes from Eric Kim and his long-awaited first cookbook, Korean American, and you probably already know Eric from his work at the New York Times and from his stories that he shares on Instagram, but you also might remember him as our former senior editor at Food 52 and for his beloved column, Table for One. You might have also seen a video of us making Mandy Lee's scrambled eggs together and just giggling a lot too.
Maybe you commented.
Maybe you commented. Maybe you thought we were giggling an awful lot. Well, that's what happens with Eric. Everything in this recipe is basically a pantry ingredient that's super easy to keep on hand, from the sauce to the crispy chickpeas themselves. The first thing I need to do is get these chickpeas crisping in the oven. I'm going to drain and rinse them, but in the meantime, here's Eric to tell you a little bit more about how this sauce and this recipe came to be.
I was working on a yangnyeom sauce, which is kind of that red, spicy, sweet sauce that's ordinarily, lacquering Korean fried chicken. So I was like, that sauce is great. What if I took it and kind of used it for some crispy chickpeas? So I basically replaced the chicken with chickpeas that I just roasted in the oven. And when I made that version of the chickpeas, my family was like, yeah, this is it. Eric, you did it. And I think that resounding yes felt so satisfying. And I just knew that I had arrived at what the dish was supposed to be. And I also just love that this dish, it's not just like some fusion dish, chickpeas with Korean flavors. It has a reference point, which is Korean fried chicken. And that was really important to me. I wanted to create something that felt authentic, even though I made it up.
Okay, now these need to get good and dry so that they will crisp up in the oven. So these just get a little bit of olive oil, salt, and pepper, and then roast in a 400-degree oven for about 25 minutes until they're really good and crispy. Okay, heading to the oven. Okay, while those roast, we are gonna go work on the garnish, which is really a whole lot more than just a garnish. Here's Eric to tell you a little bit more about that.
Yeah, it's a reference to this chicken dish in Korea that was really popular at one point called pot chicken, and that just translates to scallion chicken, and it's like a fried chicken preparation with this huge pile of julienned scallions on top. When you julienne scallions and you soak them in cold water, they kind of curl up and become this lovely tangle of scallion that's really eatable, because soaking them also gets rid of some of that raw onion flavor. And the scallions are almost like a salad. They're really refreshing, and they have that allium bite, and they kind of balance out the richer flavors of everything that's under it. And so I think it's quite genius, and it's really Korean too, to want to balance out the richness of a crispy chickpea, of that really lovely sour, sweet, spicy sauce. You sort of want something that's gonna cut through, and so these scallions do that.
So my scallions are rinsed. I pulled off any scraggly bits, and now I'm going to just julienne them, like Eric says to. Cutting them in half so I have a stable base, and then just thinly slicing them. All right, I have all my julienned scallions going into their ice bath to hang out while we do everything else. These I could eat a massive pile of after they've soaked in this ice bath, so I love it. I get to enjoy the flavor of scallions without having to deal with any of the bite. Okay, so these are just going to hang out while we do the rest of the recipe. I'm gonna go check on those chickpeas and give them a shake. Come on, Mike. Ooh, I hear them sizzling. Yeah. So some are starting to dry and crisp. They're definitely sizzling. You can see some still need their time to get dry and crisp and brown. So a shake will help. Ooh. I love how Eric has organized this recipe so that even though there's a couple different things going on, they're all happening at the same time. While those are crisping, I get to go gather the ingredients for the sauce, and then they'll all come together at the end very efficiently. So here's Eric to tell you a little bit more about those ingredients and what they're bringing to this sauce.
This sauce comes from ketchup and gochujang. And those two ingredients together are really wonderful. It's almost like a barbecue-like essence, but it's really the strawberry jam that comes in, and the inspiration for that is it's, you know, in the original Yangnyeom recipe, this man in Korea claims to have invented this, and many Korean fried chickens have strawberry jam in that sauce. And it's sort of this quirk, sort of this interesting thing that I learned from that dish, and I think it's quite wonderful because you never think to add that fruitiness to your sauces, your savory recipes. But so this dish has a lot of those sweet, glazy notes, but there's also there's soy sauce and garlic, and those really round it out and help make it feel like a nice side dish that you could eat with a bowl of white rice.
All right, sauce is coming together, just adding it all into this skillet. I'm using a nonstick skillet, but Eric says that he likes to use just a stainless steel saucepan too, so use whatever you have, and that's just a testament to how flexible this recipe is and how it works in a variety of pans. I have my tablespoon of minced garlic in there. I'm going to add everything else. Very conveniently, these things are pretty much all in tablespoons except for the ketchup, which is 3 tablespoons instead of 1. So strawberry jam, some gochujang, all that ketchup, whoa. 1, 2, 3, and 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. That is it. That is the base of our sticky, sweet, spicy sauce that's gonna coat these chickpeas. And speaking of chickpeas, I think mine are just about ready to come out of the oven. Whoa. Ooh, perfectly timed. Look how crispy those are. You can hear how crispy they are from the sizzling and like that hard crackly shell rolling around. Perfect. Now, all of this is gonna come together super fast. I just gotta grab my sauce and heat it up. This just needs to get really hot and come up to a simmer, smell fragrant. It'll take about a minute. Then we'll dump in the chickpeas, let them cook in the sauce for just a couple minutes, and then throw in some honey to caramelize. Another minute. So we're talking like 5 minutes of cook time here.
Are you telling me or are you telling
Everyone. I want everyone to know while I wait for this to start sizzling.
It's like writing a college paper. You tell them what you're going to tell them. That you tell them that.
I believe in
you told them.
tell, not show.
Anyways, good luck on the dish.
I think that's what we're supposed to do, right?
You know, everybody says lean in. It's a visual medium. I say, I got a voice. I can just tell them. Lean out.
All right, this is fragrant. Time for our chickpeas. Just looking for the sauce to absorb into the chickpeas. And then we'll scooch them to the side and caramelize the honey. Smells amazing. Whew. Okay, I think that's pretty well absorbed. And now I'm gonna mosey them over to the side. Add in, oops, lost a little honey there. It's darkened a little bit in color. I'm gonna toss the chickpeas back through. Gloss them up. All right. Whew.
It's cool.
Eric's book is full of not just genius recipes and tricks like this, but also so many beautiful stories of the time that he went home to work on this book when he was cooking a lot with his mother, Jean. So here is Eric to tell us a little bit more about what that was like.
My mother's name is Jean. I think people always ask me why I call her Jean, and it's because I don't call her that to her face, but I call her Jean in my writing because I just want her to be a fully fleshed out individual, you know? I wanted people to see her as a whole, you know, because she is so much the reason I eat the way I do, the way I do, and the foods that I care about, and my style of cooking. And cooking with her for that year while writing this book was a masterclass in Korean cooking. I say that all the time because I didn't know how to cook a lot of these dishes before I started this book. And so it was a real learning experience. It was a huge learning curve. I became familiar with the Korean pantry in a way that I wouldn't have otherwise. And it sort of became her impulses in the kitchen then became my impulses. And I take that to my work now. And it's a really wonderful thing to know that you are kind of, I don't know, it's cheesy, but passing it on, you know, or something.
Wow, look at how beautiful and curly these are. They are going to be gorgeous on top of this banchan. Isn't that beautiful? That yang sauce is so good. It's so good on crispy chickpeas and with that really fresh scallion salad that goes on top. But I want to have that on so many things. I want it on crispy roasted potatoes. I want it on like any roasted vegetable, roasted Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower. I want it, of course, on fried chicken. What would you put it on? Please let me know in the comments. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you would like all of the Genius recipes. And don't forget to listen to the Genius Recipe Tapes podcast anywhere you get your podcasts to hear so much more from Eric about what it was like to write a book with his mom, Jean. Thank you so much. We will see you in 2 weeks. Wow, look at how beautiful and curly these are. They are going to be gorgeous on top of this banchan.